Hello, and welcome to part two of my Star Wars The Force Awakens special. As you all know, part one is when I, shared with you 8 questions that I had about the movie before going into it. And I wanted to watch it twice to make sure I have my facts straight and to make sure that my initial first viewing impressions still held up consistently. And after watching it for the second time, I would have to say that the movie it's very good. I had to kind of mentally pinch myself, and I did go up dressed up in this semi Jedi outfit, and going to the theaters. I brought my lightsaber, kind of cool, huh? The Force Effects lightsaber. You hear the sound. And it's the first time I ever dressed up for anything in costume. So I was a little surprised and delighted that I had the attention of all the young movie viewers there. I'll share you a picture of my full outfit. Comes with a satchel and all that. Yeah. Woo! But anyhow, it's on to the meat of the thing. What did I think about the movie? If I were to give it a rating, I'll share that with you later. Earlier, I released a video called the top 7 Star Wars movies, and I shared with y'all that my number two all-time favorite Star Wars movie. I know it's a little soon to call it, but for me personally, my number 2 favorite all-time Star Wars movie is The Force Awakens, and it's just, keep in mind, it's just by a frog's hair close to The Empire Strikes Back, which is my number 1 favorite movie of all time. Even though the movie moved faster than The New Hope, and it does take some familiar tones from A New Hope, I still think it had enough new elements in it to make it its own movie rather than be a copycat. Some of the criticism out there, people are just comparing A New Hope and The Force Awakens too closely, and I think they're missing the point. If they had fun in the movie overall, then it shouldn't really matter. So, me personally, I really enjoyed it. It went by really quick. It was 2 hours and 10 minutes. Not the longest Star Wars movie, but man, those 2 hours went by quick. And mainly because I enjoyed the new characters so much. And, non-spoiler, of course, if I were to give it a grade, I would give it an A, a very solid A. It's definitely my top 1 or 2 movies of the year, and probably one of the best in my overall lifetime of watching movies. And not the very best, but one of the best. I'll have to share with you some of my all-time favorite movies later on down the road, and hope you guys are looking forward to that. So, movies are always fun to talk about, What else did I like? The characters were really good. The action is really good. I didn't know that this movie was filmed all analog. It wasn't like all digital film making. It had its foot in practical material, and half of it in computer CGI. I couldn't tell which one of the aliens were CG or which ones were practical. They were that good. And I'm glad that the technology in advancing puppetry also advanced along with has advanced since, the good old days of analog special effects. Analog meaning non-digital. So, what else did I like? The new characters blended well with the classic characters. What else as far as non-spoiler parts? It definitely feels like Star Wars is back. Yeah, it definitely makes me forget about the prequels. I'm sorry, George. I'm sorry if you feel that way about. I'm sorry if I am disappointing you in my reaction to the prequels, but hey, at least you showed the movie according to your vision, right? So it's out there. So I know it's not easy making a movie, good or bad. But as long as you made the movie you envisioned, then that's fine, right? So, The Force Awakens, I gave it an A. It's also my second most favorite or top overall Star Wars movie ever. More so than A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. Um, let's see. What else do I like? Non-spoiler. The action was good. The special effects were good. The characters were really good. And yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, go see it. If you've already seen the movie, rewatch it. What's really good about the next episode is that it's only going to be a year and a half away. And in the meantime, we also have a new Star Wars movie coming out, Star Wars Rogue One. That one is more dark and gritty, maybe. It's a prequel in a sense. It is set in a time before A New Hope, where a bunch of mercenaries are hired by a rebellion spy to steal the plans off the Death Star. There are rumors that Darth Vader might be the main villain, so hopefully it will be. That's the case. If not, oh well. I'm sure it will be a very interesting movie. It's directed by Gareth Edwards. It's in the middle of production, and I think it's about to wrap up soon. And starting in January, they are going to start filming the next Star Wars movie, Episode 8. So yeah, Disney is not kidding around when they say they want to make a new Star Wars movie. And I'm glad with their financial pocketbooks that they're able to make this movie possible. So I also have to give a public apology to Disney about my trepidation about them acquiring the Star Wars franchise from Lucasfilm. I was one of those that were kind of vocal about Disney might be screwing it up. Maybe they might hire some Disney Channel stars to be in the movie, but thank God that's not the case. So, hey, look, I have no problem with those Disney Channel stars that y'all have, but if they're terrible, they shouldn't be in the movie. But if they're good, then kudos to them. They might deserve to be in the movie. Let's see. As long as I don't see any of those High School Musical actors in there, I'm pretty good, pretty cool with it. So that really concludes the non-spoiler part. I'm going to give you guys a warning now. If you have not seen the movie, turn this video off. Hit the watch later icon in the corner there. And then come back and we will discuss the spoilers. And I do have those 8 questions. I'm going to display the 8 questions now. So to help us remind y'all what they were. Here are the 8 questions. Number 1 question, I'm going to just go down the questions. 1, is Rey Luke or Leia's daughter? 2, is Finn force sensitive? 3, will Han or Chewie die in the movie or survive? 4, who is Supreme Leader Snoke? And 5, will Leia use her force powers? 6, will Kylo Ren survive, and is he related to a Skywalker? 7, will Luke Skywalker appear in the last few moments of the movie? And number 8, who will keep the Millennium Falcon and inherit Anakin's lightsaber? So let's start with the first one, the biggest one in my mind. Is Rey Luke or Leia's daughter? And spoiler again. Final warning: if you have not seen the movie, go watch it. Pause this video, hit the watch later icon. That's your last warning. Okay, let's answer this question. Number 1, is Rey Luke or Leia's daughter? The movie didn't answer that question. They hinted at it. She is force sensitive. And she is very, very strong in the Force, and they did a very good job of showing how strong she is, especially when in her interrogation scene, being interrogated by Kylo Ren, she was able to withstand his mind probe, Force mind probe, and she was able to overcome his saber abilities too, which is really cool. My favorite scene in the movie. They didn't know she's not Leia's daughter, and they did not answer whether she is Luke's daughter. So we are going to have to find out in episode 8 who her parents are, and is she really a Skywalker or maybe a Kenobi? I highly doubt she's a Kenobi. There's no hint whatsoever if Kenobi ever took a lover or anything like that before A New Hope happened. So who knows? We'll find out. But it is very intriguing, nonetheless, because she is indeed strong in the Force, very strong. Number 2, is Finn Force sensitive? And that is a no. He is not. He is not Force sensitive at all. Finn does wield the lightsaber, but only in times of crucial importance. There was a scene where the Empire attacks Maz Kanata's bar, cantina. And let me scratch my eye out. I have to apologize for that. Anyways, he does pick up the lightsaber and defend himself. And he also picks up the lightsaber towards the end of the movie to defend himself while Rey was knocked out by Kylo Ren's force push. He doesn't last very long. He just did enough to survive, but he still got his butt kicked in both instances. The lightsaber sounded weird. It didn't sound like the regular vroom, 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 the classic whoosh that you hear from the lightsaber when he activated it. But when Rey activates the lightsaber, and when she finally channels the Force, it sounded like a regular lightsaber, which is a really nice subtle touch that the directors did. So number 2, is Finn Force sensitive? No. He is not. He is just a regular reformed defecting stormtrooper. Number 3, will Han or Chewbacca die in the movie? And I think the most emotional impact of the movie was the fact that Han Solo died in the movie. And in a very effective way, he confronts his son, who is Ben Solo. And I'll tell you who Ben Solo is, but anyways, he dies in the movie. Chewbacca survives, and I think in comparison to all of Chewbacca's last appearances in Star Wars, in the original trilogy and in Revenge of the Sith, this is Chewbacca's best movie. He was a actual realized character. He interacted with the other characters. He had funny moments, and one of my favorite moments with Chewie was when he was being nursed back to health, and I guess he was bragging or being confident about his achievements, and the nurse was like saying, that's a good boy, yeah. Yeah. And on the side note, I think The Force Awakens is definitely one of the funniest Star Wars movies, not in a corny, gaggy way, but in a very kind of, not ironic, but just visual, subtle gags and quips here and there. It's done in the right amount of way. It is a modern Star Wars movie after all, and you can't be too serious all the time. We are here to have fun watching Star Wars, right? I mean, number 8's where it gets really serious. So with some humor. I mean, Empire Strikes Back did have some humor in it too, but it is dark at the same time. So I'm hoping episode 8 will get dark. Not dark, but very trying for our characters. So number 4, right? Who is Supreme Leader Snoke? And he had only really 2 or 3 scenes in the movie, and they're all very brief. He is Kylo Ren's master. He looks like a cross between a hacked up, scarred up Voldemort and the Mummy. And he's all CGI, and he does have a really cool scene where he looks like he's 25 feet tall, but he's actually just a hologram. So, and he's probably the most disappointing character. I didn't really like Snoke all that much, not because he's a bad guy or anything, but he didn't really do much except, give a couple of orders here and there. And He did drop a nugget that Kylo Ren needed more training. So towards the end of the movie, when Kylo Ren was down for the count, it was up to General Hux to take Kylo Ren home and to complete his training. And I was like, what? He's not done yet? So we'll see how Episode 8 unfolds for Kylo Ren and Rey. Number 5, will Leia use her Force powers? Yes, but only passively or in a telepathic sense. She doesn't have Force push or Force pull, at least not from what we've seen yet. She's in the movie a few times. Not very long, but she's kind of peppered in throughout the last half of the movie. And when Han Solo died, she did sense his death, though, and yeah, that was kind of sad. But yeah, Leia does use her powers in a passive way, but not to the extent of a Jedi. I don't think she ever did train as a Jedi, anyways, according to J.J. Abrams. Number 6 question: will Kylo Ren survive, and is he a Skywalker? That's a very good question. And yes, he does survive. I alluded to that in the last question. But, and yes, he is Ben Solo. He is Han and Leia's son. Leia wants him back home, rehabilitated, and Han does miss having a son. He is very disappointed that his son took part in the destruction of the Jedi Academy that Luke set up. And it's unfortunate, but it was Kylo Ren that killed Han Solo. And that's not to say that Kylo Ren is not fascinating. Kylo Ren is a very fascinating villain, antagonist in this movie, and he's very vulnerable. He does he does throw temper tantrums quite a bit. He does it twice, but the first scene was when it was, when the poor Imperial officer had to tell Kylo that that they failed to capture BB-8, the droid, and what happened? Kylo Ren did a temper tantrum. He got his lightsaber and started tearing up the computer console, and he just tore up that thing. And he did another temper tantrum thing where Ren escaped her interrogation chair, to put it lightly. And when he saw the chair was empty after she escaped, he tore that thing up. And the funny moment out of that was when 2 stormtroopers walked around the corner and they saw all these sparks flying out of the room, and then they looked at each other and turned around, with great timing, by the way. And yeah. He's also a very conflicted character as well. He's being seduced by the light side, which is different. A nice little reversal. Where in Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader was conflicted. He was trying to turn Luke to the dark side, and in this one, it's Kylo Ren being conflicted with the light side. And in this one, he turns to the dark side ultimately, where else Vader turns to the light side, to redeem himself. Very interesting dynamic, and Han trying to bring him back from the brink of the dark side. But, Kylo Ren chose the dark side, kill Han Solo. And despite it all, Han Solo still loves his son despite being killed and impaled through the heart. And it's a tender moment that he managed to put his hand on Kylo's face and falls into the chasm to his death. So, very effective, emotional scene. But yeah, in my eyes, he's not redeemable. He killed off Han Solo, So, yeah, he killed our favorite smuggler. We'll see what happens in episode 8 and 9 and see how that story is resolved. Number 7, will Luke Skywalker appear in the last few moments of the movie? That's actually more of a prediction than a question, because yes, he did appear in the last few moments. 40 seconds total. But it was a good payoff because even though he only appeared very briefly, Ren, not Ren, but Rey, our heroine, she returned or proceeded to hand off the hilt of Anakin's lightsaber back to Luke. And Luke, like, he didn't say a word in the whole exchange, but he just looks at the lightsaber, looks at Rey, and the movie ended. So I am looking forward to seeing Episode 8. Luke is going to be the new Yoda, and we'll see how powerful Luke truly is. So looking forward to that. Number 8. Who will keep the Millennium Falcon and Anakin's lightsaber? And that's a really interesting question because Rey keeps it all. Rey, after Han's death and after the destruction of the Starkiller base, which is in itself a surprise, Rey keeps the lightsaber and the Millennium Falcon. And she gets to keep Chewbacca. Well, she doesn't keep him. Chewbacca does end up being with Rey, being her co-pilot at the end of the movie. So very interested to see where that goes. I do hope that Chewie sticks around to watch Rey's training. Moving forward, I hope that in Episode 8, I do hope to see Poe and Finn interact together as kind of a buddy movie in a way, in their part of the story. And I do hope that to see more of Rey and Luke's interaction and see how her training goes. And from what I've seen of her Force abilities in The Force Awakens, it looks like that she is she's very in tune with the Force, and she is very she has a lot of talent for sure. So I wonder if Luke will say, "Wow, you're pretty well trained there." To me, Rey doesn't look like a hothead like Luke or Anakin were. She does seem more even-tempered. Definitely a little bit, slightly more emotionally vulnerable compared to the two previous heroes. But overall, I guess kudos to Rey for inheriting the Millennium Falcon and holding on to Anakin's or Luke's lightsaber. There's a lot of history behind that lightsaber. You know, after watching the 6 previous movies, or 5, there's a lot of history behind that lightsaber. I mean, the strongest Force wielders held that lightsaber. We're talking about Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker at one point or another held that blue lightsaber. And having Rey activate it and then use it effectively against Kylo Ren, it's phenomenal. It's like watching history. We witnessed Star Wars history. Everyone, millions of people all around the world is watching the first ever female lightsaber wielder on the silver screen. Of course, we've seen it on TV. We've seen female lightsaber wielders in the prequels, but not the main hero. So anyhow, I think it's fascinating in this modern age of storytelling, and I'm looking forward to episode 8 because of it. And yeah, well, those are my spoilerific 8 questions. I hope you found those fun as much as I did. And I will share a couple of favorite scenes. The movie is Force Awakens is definitely one of the funniest Star Wars movies. Not very gaggy, not very slapstick either. It's just the right amount of humor. I like it for that. The pacing is good. There were no moments that kind of made me feel like, okay. There is no moment where everything's so cool, then you hear like, no, that kind of ruins it, right? Nothing like that. So nothing that makes you scratch your head. In Empire, it didn't have any scenes like that, really. Maybe in the special editions, but overall, Empire was. All these movies have their flaws. So I'm sure this movie has its flaws too. I don't want to nitpick. I mean, because there are other YouTube videos and reviews out there nitpicking the movie. It was worth the twice the admission for me. Might go watch it a third time. I can't wait to get it on Blu-ray. It is definitely a movie that's rewatchable. Definitely, if a movie's rewatchable, it's a classic, right? So, the last movie I saw multiple times in the theater was probably Mad Max, and don't laugh, Godzilla. So, anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I do have a podcast called The Warp Cave that has a 6-part retrospectives on all 6 of the Star Wars movies. I hope you guys enjoy that. You can find it on thewarpcave.com. I will have it spelled along the bottom of the video. And thank you for watching this video, and I hope you all enjoyed. And I am signing off. Goodbye. And may the Force be with you.